of reading here. I'm always sharing books I love for our Cityline book club, so I thought I should give someone else a chance to share their favorite reads. Here with a stack of books that have gotten her this far and kept her going, Miss Vivian K. You're a big book girl, and we talk about that all the time.
Yes. So if you haven't met me, my name is Vivian K. I am not only a business and empowerment expert, I'm also the founder and CEO of Kinky Curly Yaki, which is a premium textured hair extensions brand that I built for Black women. And I bootstrapped it into a multi-million-dollar business as a single mother, a college dropout, and an immigrant. I have overcome a bunch of challenges and managed to be successful. You see what I did there, Tracy?
I see what you did there. You're trying to steal my job.
No.
I see what's happening right in front of my eyes.
What I'm doing is storytelling.
Yes.
So people don't buy products, they buy people.
Yes.
So this first book, Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller, teaches you how to do that. So it has a 7-step method on how to get the right customers listening. Because what you don't want to do is just be advertising or marketing your products to just anyone.
Yeah.
You want a very specific customer. So this book will help you do that. It'll help you get the customers to really understand, to listen, and hopefully purchase your products or services.
Because you don't need a ton of people. You need 100% of the right people.
That's right.
Right?
That's
it doesn't have to be a ton of people. I'm so captivated by your story.
Thank you.
Keep going.
Well, that's what you want.
That is so good.
You want invested.
Yeah, people get drawn right in. Okay, so your next book, you say we should all be reading is?
Yes, it is Atomic Habits. So this is James Clear. So if you are looking to build a good habit, it's not, and you're struggling with it, it's not necessarily you, it's the systems. Okay, well, it's maybe a little bit you. But it's really the systems that you have in place. So what this does, so James Clear is a not a productivity, he's a habits formation expert. Okay, so this is all based on habit science-y stuff. Okay? So what this does is that it helps you to form good habits, and it's not something that happens overnight. It's something that happens slow by sure. So when I say systems, what I mean are the muscle memory things that you have, like those things that you just do by default. So for instance, if you're on your phone, at 10 o'clock at night, you're like, okay, I only got 30 minutes of scrolling, and then I'm going to bed. But then, at 1 o'clock in the morning, you're still scrolling, right? So then one of the habits that you could introduce to interrupt that, this is what I do. On my phone, I set a timer. So, but I don't set it to make noise. I set it to stop playing. And that's something, if you scroll down, if you've got iOS, it's got stop playing. So what that does, you'll be scrolling, oh my gosh, then boom, the screen just goes blank, right?
Some of us need that.
Yeah, and then you're like, okay, going to bed, and then you go to bed. And that's how, and so doing that little tiny thing can help get you to remarkable results.
Oh, I love that. Okay, force yourself into it.
Yeah.
What have you got for us next? I know this one.
Yeah, so this came from that. So one of the other good habits that I started doing was the 5-minute journal.
Yeah.
So what this does is it helps to start your day off right. It helps you to start on the good foot. So in the morning, it's literally 5 minutes. I'm not a journal person.
Yeah.
I don't have time for all that, right? But this is literally 5 minutes. So in the morning, you write 3 things that you're grateful for.
Yeah.
3 things that you want to go well during the day, and 1 affirmation, positive affirmation.
Okay.
And then in the PM, in the nighttime, you write 3 things that went well.
Yeah.
And then 1 thing that could have gone better.
Okay.
And so what that does is it forces you to be grateful. Like Michael J. Fox just said the other day, gratitude is something that you need, and the only way optimism can be sustainable is if you have gratitude.
Yeah.
So this makes you, I always do things like, it's such a good, I'm glad to wake up in the morning, I'm glad to do that. I force myself to do it every single morning.
It's so smart.
Yeah,
it's such a good way to live. Now, when you need to remind yourself of how awesome you are, what do you read?
I read You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero.
Yes.
And you know what? Actually, here's a hot tip. So if you're not a reader, or you don't want to invest in too many books, audiobooks are really good. And until I write my own book,
that is coming.
You can read. Yeah, it's coming. You can read Jen Sincero. What she does is she reminds you to overcome those self-limiting beliefs. All those negative thoughts that pop into your head. She's going to remind you that you are a badass. We all are.
We all need that reminder every once in a while. I love that.
Absolutely.
The last book that got you to where you are now.
Where I am now, so speaking of badasses, Badass Bose.
She's a badass.
She's a badass.
Yes.
She's Bosema St. John. She's a personal friend. This is a memoir that she wrote that sort of shares her story, her journey, the highs and lows of heavy loss, and how she became a determined woman. She lost a college boyfriend to suicide. She had a premature baby. She lost her husband to cancer, and she managed to take all of those hardships and turn it into lemonade.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And she's a personal friend. She's a Kinky Curly Yaki customer.
Yes.
And she's an absolute inspiration. She motivates me to be a badass. She's even she's a marketing genius. She worked for Apple Music, Pepsi, Uber, and most recently she was the global chief marketing officer of Netflix.
Amazing.
So if you want inspiration,
all big brands for
all
Bosoma.
big brands, and she went through a lot of grief, a lot of tragedy, and she inspires me to be a badass and live that urgent life every day.
Thank you for paying it forward for us. Great recommendations, Viv. Time for a break. We'll be right back, everyone.